So I'm going to say something a little controversial right now. Writer's block is a myth. I mean, you've never heard of a plumber having plumber's block or a pilot having pilot's block, have you? I mean, it'd be a bit of a worry if you did. Writer's block is basically just an excuse that you've created to push out a deadline because you feel like you can't write something that's less than perfect. So in this video, I'll be showing 5 tips for avoiding that stuck feeling when it comes to writing content. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Kate Emily and I'm a brand and content strategist and love helping small business owners just like you build their brands online. So you might want to consider subscribing to my channel because I release regular videos which feature a whole lot of tips and strategies for digital marketing, branding, and content. And if content's something that you're a little stuck on, I've created a whole video on how to figure out what ideas you could be creating for your business. So I know this whole idea stage can be really tricky for a lot of business owners, so go and watch that one now. But back to the topic of this video. So as Seth Godin states, no one has writing poorly block, right? So you can always write badly, but it's that feeling of only being able to write badly that stops you writing at all. As a content writer myself, I've definitely had that feeling of lacking inspiration or feeling stuck when it comes to writing a piece of content. So in this video, I'll be sharing 5 tips that I use for writing content and avoiding that feeling and just getting on with it and creating some amazing content for both my business and for my clients. Number 1 is to break it down. So if you know what you want to write about, but you just don't know how to get started, just start writing a bunch of dot points of the various things you would like to discuss, and then you can start to group those ideas under specific categories. So here's an example of what I did for this script. I basically just got all my ideas out on paper and then started grouping those ideas based on certain headers, which in this case were the tips, the 5 tips. So I grouped those dot points under each of those 5 tips. Number 2 is to just start writing. So there's nothing better than curing that feeling of staring at a blinking cursor on a blank page than starting writing. So think about the way that you're explaining something in your head and just get it out onto paper, and you can always edit later, that's not a problem. Number 3 is a change of scenery. So I love going to a cafe when I'm feeling like I've got a project looming that I'm really not inspired about, or I feel a bit stuck on how to get started. Because if I take myself out of my comfort zone, out of my office, out of my home environment, and go into a cafe, I've made the effort to get dressed, drive to the cafe and sit down, that I want to actually achieve something. So I avoid checking my emails, I avoid social media, and I just get started. I just spurt out all my thoughts and it actually works. Number 4 is to work in sprints. So what this means is that you really focus on writing for say 15 minutes and then you can have a break. You can check your email, you can check social media, whatever it is. If you're new to working in sprints, start at 15 minutes and then work your way up to 60 minutes and make sure you just stay 100% focused during that time. And it would be amazing how much you actually achieve by just staying in the zone and not allowing yourself to click off to anything else. And number 5 is daily writing practice. So I get asked all the time, how can I be a better content writer? And the trick is just to practice. It may be writing for a client, or it may be just writing for yourself. Maybe you've got a blog, or you just want to write in a diary by freehand. It's totally up to you, but just make it a practice to write for 10 to 15 minutes every single day. There are a bunch of resources out there which will prompt you to get started with a daily practice, give you ideas of what to talk about or what to write about. And if you start making this part of your daily routine, you'll notice amazing results in the way that you're writing. But if you're considering becoming a content writer yourself or wanting to become a better content writer, go and check out my video which shares 5 tips for content writers, which is full of some great strategies and ideas that I've come across in my business. So I hope you loved this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. But that's it for me for today. Until next time, bye for now.